everyone, welcome back to Lucky Frog Gaming. I'm your host Crystal and this is Joe, and this weekend we're here at Geek Game Days and we have a great opportunity to sit down with some really great people, and today we're here with Dragon Phoenix.
You know them, you love them, we've shown several of their games, and today we're going to get to know a little bit more about the people behind the magic that is Dragon Phoenix. So why don't you start, let's just start easy, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and go from there.
Okay.
Go first.
Shall I go first? Okay. Yeah, I'm Carlie Cornell. I do most of the artwork for this business, and a lot of the production and coordination junk is mine. He's our main designer.
Well, I'm Harvey Cornell, and when I was young, I was sick a lot, and so I didn't get to go out and play outside with the other kids as much. So when I got to play is when we had to stay inside for rain and play board games and stuff. So I really became a big fan of gaming. And I designed my first game in 1981 through 3 or so.
Yeah.
I had been playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I had some problems with a few of the rules, so I designed my own role-playing game called Knight's Journey. And after my friends tried it, we never went back to Dungeons and Dragons. We only played my game.
Wow.
But I never published that. That's the first game I designed. And then when I met Carlie in 2014, I told her I had always wanted to be a game designer, and she says, well, design something. And
I love that.
And about 35 designs later, she can't stop me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Basically.
So you were the spark to ignite the fire.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. I had found that this whole thing that was going on with board games before he did, and because one of my ex-bosses had a game night every Wednesday night.
Okay.
And so we'd all go over to his house and play games, and so I knew this thing was going on, and when I met Harvey, I thought he'd find that fun. So we went and did a couple of the game things.
Yeah.
And that's when it came out. He says, I've always wanted to do that. And I said, well, so do it.
I get that. That's all actually how Lucky Frog came into existence as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's amazing.
A common interest.
Yeah.
Well, roughly, how many games do you think you guys have come up with so far? I mean, I know there's still probably more in the making, but...
Yeah.
Well, there's 6 of them here published, and we've got around 30 other ones that we've spent a lot of time on. And she was just going over a short list of the ones that are...
This is my list of games that are ready to publish.
Oh, wow.
That's not so short.
This is this one here. These are the ones that in order to be able to manage this list, we're putting the not ready.
Okay.
That's fair.
But yeah, we have these are ready, and so I was kind of thinking about, what are the components in those games, and is there a way for us to produce that effectively, so.
Gotcha.
That's great.
Okay. And so, I mean, it's really cool. Like, obviously, you're together, you're working together, you're doing this business together. What's it like working together on Dragon Phoenix games, and how do you handle differences of a view of where a game should be headed or how a component should be done? How does that work out?
Maybe not always as well as I would like. Sometimes feelings get hurt. Well, I was really thinking this, and you'd already did that. So we always work it out in the end and get along. But sometimes someone is not happy for a little while, but then it gets worked out. And I think we both try to make sure the other person's happy with the design too. So
Yeah.
First and foremost, our relationship is the most important. So,
Absolutely.
the games,
That's first.
they come second or third or fourth or whatever, but they're
Behind the dog.
ultimately,
Oh, yeah.
us, then the dog,
Super cute
and
dog,
then
by
maybe
the way,
stuff
yes.
like the game. So,
Yes.
ultimately, we always get over it, and we never get really angry. Just like a little hurt,
Yeah.
I was really thinking this, and she does. She's in charge of the art, and of course she does most of the art herself. Sometimes she has to hire someone else to get some of it because it's just so much.
Sure.
But sometimes she'll do something and she'll ask me, what do you think about this piece of art? And then maybe I had something in mind, and I'm like, I'm reluctant to say that because she's already put all this effort into it.
I've been
and
there.
I don't want to say, can you change some things? But
Yeah. Well, in the end, it kind of comes down to division of responsibility, you know. So
Yeah.
he'll get the final vote on gameplay issues.
I get
Okay.
that.
And typically I'll have the final vote on art issues. But, you know, I can tell when he's getting icky
Yep.
about something. And so I'll ask, you know, what is it that isn't working for you?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
typically I'll rework something that isn't working for him completely because I want him to like what we've got, you know?
Exactly.
So
No, it's
we-
all about a give and take, and it
Yeah.
sounds like a great, team that you have there. I feel like balance is important,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
something we strive for as well.
Right.
What do you think sets your games apart from other games?
Yeah. So yeah, if you
Yeah,
look at
this
our
is-
sign, it says our games are pointless. Well, you know, if you read the rules of most games, like 99% of the games, it says the winner will be the player with the most points at the end of the game, and
Yep.
most of them say that. And you know, we play a lot of games like that too, and that's fine. But you know, we got a little tired. Like, can we have something that has a different victory condition than just most points?
Yeah.
And so we've strived to make a lot of our games have other types of victory conditions.
Yeah.
And of course, we were really big fans of co-op. So cooperative games are much better in having
Yeah, they-
other types of
yeah.
objectives than points anyway.
Yeah.
The harder challenge is when you're going to play a competitive game and have something other than points be the victory condition. So,
Yeah.
but we have, of these 6 games out in front of us, the 2 of them are co-op, and of course they're not points, but the other 4 are competitive. And I would say 3 of them are completely pointless. The other one is, you could argue whether or not it's pointless. I mean, it's just a matter of who has captured the most dragon
I was going to say
cards.
the
Yes,
So
dragon.
you're
yes.
going to count
It's
the
not
dragons,
exactly
and so
points.
they're
It's just
kinda
the most
points.
dragon cards captured. So non-point-ish. You know?
Yeah.
Depends on
I'm
whether
with
you
ya.
want to say it's
Yeah.
points to count cards
Yeah.
I'm with ya.
captured.
I
Yeah.
completely agree.
Yeah. But the what's the benefit to the player of having a pointless win condition is that you don't have to do as much bookkeeping.
Yep.
So you can spend more time focused on the fun.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, love that.
you're not,
Yeah.
you know, it's less about this is worth that and that's worth the other, and if you're doing strategy work, you're working on what's going to get me to my goal better.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that gives you a more immersive experience.
I'm with you.
Even with a lightly themed game, you're looking for, you know, for example, Built in a Day couldn't be a lighter theme, okay? Basically, I was looking for an excuse to have different colors.
Yeah.
But you know, so that's kind of pasted on. But the fact that what you're trying to do is have just your color showing gives you something you can really focus in on and really work toward without having to account for
How many points
what
is this
else.
gonna give me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's and is this going to get me closer? Do
Yeah.
I do it this way or this way? You know, and
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
I think that's, even like I say, it's more immersive even if it's a more abstract game.
Sure. So
love that.
then, with that, like, who would you say your target audience for your games are? You know, knowing that.
Well, now, as she said, now Built in a Day, the game she talked about, is the game that's on the table that she actually designed, right? And it is on the lightest side of all the games. I am, by my education, an engineer, and I tend to go for more complex. So, and some of our
Detailed.
games,
Let's call it
I'm
detailed.
detail oriented.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. I like
a lot
that.
of
Yeah.
detail in how you play. And one of the games, say Blackstone Castle, I thought was pretty light and easy that just anybody could pick up. And what I've come to find out now that it's been out is that it's not as light for everybody as I thought. What comes naturally to me, and the
Yeah.
logic that you're having to use in that game is not as natural to everybody. It's I guess it's a little hard for me to identify because this just seems like, why is this hard for anybody, you know. But it turns out it's not for everybody, and it needs to be someone that wants to think a little bit more deeply about what they're doing in the game and solving problems.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, I mean that is a good audience. Like there are thinkers
There's
out
lots of
there
thinkers.
that are looking for that challenge. Like I'll speak for myself. Like I can't play another game of Wingspan. I will lose my mind. It is.
I think he's had his final game.
I'm
We did our little competition. It's okay. There's so many people.
There's not much thinking going on there.
This is true.
It is not. It's. So I appreciate a good thinking game. So I've definitely enjoyed many of the Dragon Feed games myself. So I can appreciate that.
With that, feedback is really important. How do you get like your player feedback, and how do you kind of like utilize that into your games?
Well, we play, test, and prototype all of our games and take them out and play them with people.
Yeah.
We have participated in a whole bunch of events where people write down anonymous feedback, you know, and so I've got stacks like this of feedback from various events where people tell us what they like about the game, how well they like it, is it working for them, and you know, so we hear from people and listen to people, and you know, one of the things that happens, you know, since I'm very interested in the visual aspects and the communication, in computer software we used to call it the user interaction.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of user interaction testing over the years, and it's very handy for watching people play our games because I can see where they're having problems. You know, and which bits are a little too fiddly or are unclear. I won't say we've never ever made a mistake on what's unclear, but you know, we watch for it and fix, and then try it again. And you know, so it's an iterative testing process. And it works.
I love that.
Along that line, and I think Harvey, I had this question in mind specifically for you. What's the most interesting mechanic that you've created in a game, like for you?
That I've created that's like new?
Or anything like that you've worked with, or
You start with, I'll tell you what my favorite mechanic is.
Okay.
There we go.
Multi-use cards.
Okay.
I like cards when I have several different ways they can be used, and you have to decide how you want to use it in this instance.
Okay.
So I've of the 30 some odd games, I've probably got 6 or 8 or so that have multi-use cards in them because I find that interesting and challenging.
Yeah, no, that is. I actually really appreciate multi-use cards. It adds an element. I know there's definitely that in the Dragon Storm with like the layering and the day and the night and
Gathering Gloom has it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
Even this game, there are 2 uses on all these cards. At least it's not a huge amount, but you can use the cards for the main action, or you can use it for prospectors. Even that I threw in multi-use.
There you go.
I know you had mentioned you had a list of the games that you were working on. So what would you say is Dragon Phoenix's most exciting next biggest project to be looking for?
Honestly, the one I'm really excited to bring to the table is Ramses.
Ramses.
It's Ramses, the Builder Pharaoh.
Okay.
Because Harvey created this game that what you're doing is playing as an architect in Egypt, and you're going to try to win the Pharaoh's favor for his next project.
Okay.
And
Well,
so
actually, you're trying to become his grand architect, so you're going to do
build
some projects
stuff.
to convince him that you should be his.
You're going to show your stuff as an architect, and one of the things that's interesting and unusual about the game is that you've got workers. You know, there's some worker placement in it, but you can promote your workers so that you can have extra good workers that do more things for you. It's really
You start
fun.
off with an architect who can do a lot of different things, and several basic workers, but they can be promoted to masons, where the guys, the stoneworking guys, they can still do all the things the regular guy worker can do, but they have special things they can do on masonry.
Yeah.
And then there's also artisans,
Yeah,
and
so
there's warriors,
you know,
and there's
because
priests.
all the Egyptian
Oh, yeah.
architecture was heavily decorated. So you know,
Absolutely.
your artisans and some of your resources are gold and pigments and things like that.
Oh.
So
I like
you know,
it.
I definitely
it's
like
it's
that.
it's actually pretty deeply themed in the Egyptian architecture stuff, and I've spent many hours in various Egyptian museums taking pictures so that I can make sure that we have the right feel for the visual aspect of
I
it.
love
So
that.
I think it'll be really
even
fun.
you even have to keep your group of workers fed. So you have a little
Yeah.
farm system. You're trying to feed them and house them. You have to have the right kind of housing.
Right.
If you want to get more masons, you have to have more space in your masons guild.
Yeah.
You want more artisans. They have their own.
Yeah.
little-
Your
so you're
fancy
worried about the
guys-
housing and feeding as well.
You've got to
Yeah,
you've got to
they
have
don't want to stay in a little hostel there.
Yeah, you're
Come
you're
on,
not
you
you
gotta-
can't put your fancy pants artisan
Yeah.
in the same house
No.
as a guy who's digging ditches.
No,
They won't live
they
together.
Won't deal with that. No, not at
That
all.
sounds really exciting. I'm really excited to see
Yeah,
that.
I love a good Egyptian theme actually. So I'm
Me too.
definitely, I'll be on top of that. So who are some creators that you're really into right now? Like, are there other creators that you look at and go, oh, that's kind of interesting, or draw inspiration from?
Well, early on, one of the first ones that we both were drawn to was Stefan Feld.
Okay.
We loved Castles of Burgundy. We
Yeah.
still love it. We have the deluxe. I've painted the
Ooh.
castles and everything in my deluxe
That is
version.
petty.
And
Oh.
probably one of our top games that we've ever played from someone else is one of his. His one game that I'm aware of that doesn't use points. The
Okay.
Oracle of Delphi is a wonderful game.
Okay.
And I've converted it so that you can play it in co-op format. It's not designed to be played in co-op, but I created a co-op adaptation of it, and we play that a lot in the co-op form.
Yeah,
Which is something that Dragon Phoenix has done a lot of.
yeah, we've done.
You have spent a lot of time converting some of these top games into co-op, and those you kind of offer them free, right, on
Yeah.
on the site,
Yeah.
which you should definitely check out, dragonphoenixgames.com, and we'll have a link in the description below. Because
But
no,
more
go ahead.
recently, I mean, I actually think Richard Lanius is probably my favorite designer now.
Okay.
And he's the one that he did Arkham Horror way back in the day.
Okay.
But he also has done Defenders of the Realm, which is a fantasy-based cooperative game fighting against boss monsters and minions. And then he came up with several other ones, Defenders of the Last Stand, which is a post-apocalyptic version of that. And then he's got a superhero one called Freedom 5. So
okay.
we probably have spent more time
We
with those
spent a
games
lot
than
of
almost
time
anything.
playing those games.
I love
Okay.
that. I love that.
Something about, you know, marching across a map and killing monsters is it's just plain good fun.
I get
Yeah,
that. I get that.
absolutely.
This is more of just kind of like a fun question we like to do for the people we interview. Is there a game that you think, I mean, because we haven't played all the games that are out there, so we're always looking for great recommendations. Is there a game, yours or anybody else's, that you think we should check out, play, and see how we like?
Well, I think that when someone asks that question, I usually want to find out a little bit of what kind of game do they like.
Okay.
Because there are lots of great games out there, and no one game's perfect for everybody.
So true.
But the one that we're most excited about now, if you like cooperative games,
Yeah.
we found someone that did a review on the Freedom 5 game I just mentioned, the superhero game, and said he thought this a couple of other games he liked a little bit better. One of them was called Tidal Blades 2,
Something about the unfolders, the rise of the unfolders.
Okay.
And so I checked that
Awesome
out, and
fun.
we bought it, and we've been playing it almost every chance we get.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize there was a version of it in the Kickstarter that came with figures. So I went and bought a second copy so I could have all the figures.
Oh.
And we're
Huh.
3/4 of
Yeah.
the way through the campaign, and I'm racing to keep paint figures to try to keep ahead of where we are in the campaign.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always got painted figures out there. I'm having a great
Yeah.
time with it.
Oh,
love
Yeah,
that.
love it.
that.
Love it. It's
do.
it's a gas. We're enjoying the heck out of it.
All right. Well, that's definitely going on the list then.
Yeah. well, there's an extra copy at our
Yeah, we
house
have the
too.
extra
So
copy that doesn't have
maybe you
figures.
guys can have that.
Well, now I know that there's one with figures. No.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it'll be a good place
Well,
to
maybe
start.
the four of us should play it together.
I completely agree. I was hoping you would offer.
Absolutely. Done. Consider that. We will add it to the list. That would be super fun. 'Cause I want to play with your figures. Because I'll never paint figures, but the painting that you do on your figures is absolutely stunning.
Thank
Like it's very cool. Even though she's the artist, your painting.
Minis are his thing, and I'm not going to do them. So
Yeah.
he can
Figures
have
is my
them.
thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. So, where can fans follow, support you? What's the best way to make sure that you're in the know of what's happening with Dragon Phoenix?
DragonPhoenixGames.com is really the place to go.
Okay.
That's where the stuff is. It's mostly current. After this weekend, I need to go and do some more updating because we don't have Vesta on it yet completely.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So
we
because
can-
it's brand spanking new and it hasn't gotten out there yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit
Yeah.
down with us, and
Thank
I
you.
super appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your
Yeah.
conversation.
You guys are
are
great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.